Hello, everyone, and welcome to Purpose Driven Life Skills. My name is Tamar, and today we will be discussing wealth versus riches, understanding God's perspective on money. The kingdom view on money in the Bible is money was never condemned, but how we use it, we view it, and prioritize it is deeply important. Many people equate riches with success, but God defines true wealth much differently. So let's dive into how biblical prosperity differs from the world's version and how to align our finances with God's heart. Our key verse for today is the blessings of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. Proverbs 10 and 22. So first, let's define riches versus true wealth. Riches are often tied to material gain like money, luxury, and possessions, whereas wealth in the kingdom of God includes spiritual, emotional, relational, and material blessings, all rooted in righteousness. So the world's view of riches is being flashy, temporary, being self-focused, and it can lead to pride or idolatry. Whereas God's view of wealth is purpose-driven, it's sustainable, it's rooted in wisdom, and it also brings peace and not pressure. So Luke 12 and 15 says, life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Secondly, God does not condemn wealth, but he tests the heart. God doesn't have a problem with us using wealth. He has a problem with wealth having us. The Bible shows faithful servants like Abraham, Job, Solomon, and Joseph as wealthy individuals, but they remained humble and used their wealth for God's purposes. Deuteronomy 8 and 18 says, it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth. 1 Timothy 6 and 10 says, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So here's my first question for you. Do I own my money or does it own me? Third, the purpose of wealth in the kingdom is that wealth was not given just for personal comfort, but to provide for your family, to help support others in need, to help fund the gospel, to help build our communities, and to demonstrate God's faithfulness. 2 Corinthians 9 and 11 says, you will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. So we are channels, not reservoirs of God's blessings. So fourth, what are the dangers of chasing riches? Well, when we pursue riches without wisdom or purpose, it can lead to discontentment, it can lead to greed, pride, broken relationships, and distance from God. Matthew 6 and 24 says you cannot serve both God and money. So here's your first warning. Riches without righteousness are risky. You can tweet that one. So fifth, what are the characteristics of God's wealth and kingdom wealth? So worldly riches is fleeting, it's insecure, it brings stress, it's self-glorifying, it's hoarded, and it's motivated by status. Whereas kingdom wealth is eternal and enduring, it brings peace, it's God glorifying, it's shared and sown, and it's motivated by stewardship. Psalms 1:12 and 3 says, wealth and riches are in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. So 6, what is God's formula for wealth? God's principles for abundance include diligence, according to Proverbs 10 and 4, generosity, according to Proverbs 11 and 25, tithing, according to Malachi 3 and 10, contentment, according to 1 Timothy 6 and 6, wisdom, according to Proverbs 3, 13 through 16, and faith, according to Matthew 6 and 33. So study one verse above each day and journal what God is showing you about wealth. Seventh, wealth as a test and a tool. Wealth reveals the conditions of our hearts and is a test of our character. It can also be a powerful tool for transformation when used God's way. Luke 16:10-11 says, if you are faithful in a little, you will be faithful in much. So ask God, how can I use what you've given me to glorify you and to bless others? Eighth, think of it as legacy, wealth that outlives you. God's wealth plan is generational. What we build, give, and teach should outlive us. True prosperity blesses your family, your church, and your community for years to come. Proverbs 13:22 says, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. So your challenge is to start creating a kingdom legacy plan for your family and your community. In conclusion, choose God's way. God desires that his children prosper, not to flaunt, but to fulfill. And when you choose wealth over riches, stewardship over selfishness, and kingdom impact over temporary gain, you step into true, lasting prosperity. Matthew 6:33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. My name is Tamara with Purpose Driven Life Skills. Thank you all so much for joining us, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Be blessed.